With how exciting of a time it has been for the Xbox platform, there's some interesting news that has come out about the PlayStation 5 that I want to talk about. I know this is an Xbox-centric channel, and it has been super easy to talk about all of the great things Xbox has been doing over the last couple of weeks and months because they have been giving us so much value in the Xbox Series X, in Game Pass, and then lots of great news with the Bethesda deal and that kind of stuff. But there's some interesting stuff about PlayStation that has come out in the last day or so, and I wanted to go over it. Now, before we get into this any further, if you guys are new here and you enjoy what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have some great conversations in the comments below. So first of all, PlayStation announced that there are going to be 10 new games coming free to the PlayStation platform, and you do not need any subscription to pick up these games. The biggest hitter out of this game list is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, the other games on this list, there are definitely some great games to check out if you haven't played them yet. So there's Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, The Witness, Astrobot Rescue Mission PSVR, Moss PSVR, Thumper PSVR, and Paper Beast PSVR. So if you include those 4 games plus the optional PSVR mode within Res Infinite, that's 5 PlayStation VR games. Now, the Play at Home initiative is something they started, I believe, last year once COVID hit to kind of get people to stay home and play video games rather than go out and gather. And earlier this month as well, they gave away the 2016 Ratchet and Clank game for free. So that's in total this month 11 free games. Now, that being said, this is a great thing for gamers, for competition, and just for the industry in general. Last generation, the PlayStation 4 completely dominated the Xbox One. As we all know, the Xbox One had a terrible launch, and they really didn't start picking things up until they released the Xbox One X. They announced the Xbox Game Pass, and this was well into last generation. So it went in almost an entire generation where Xbox really didn't push back against PlayStation, and we saw what happened overall because there was kind of a lack of competition coming from the Xbox side. With this generation, however, Xbox has come out swinging. They have been giving gamers an amazing amount of news over and over and over again, and the Xbox Series X and S are incredible consoles. Game Pass is an incredible service with insane value, and they are reading the community, and they are keeping the Bethesda games exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, which is also a very smart business move because of how large the ecosystem is going to be and how large it is right now with its reach in terms of PC, in terms of console, and in terms of xCloud. So it's a great move, and people are really happy with Xbox right now, and their level of competition is at a level that I don't think I've ever seen from the Xbox team, even with the Xbox 360 days. I think this is like crazy what they're doing. And then you think about the backwards compatibility stuff with the auto HDR and the FPS boost. It's almost like they're going above and beyond to make up for the lack of competition they provided last generation. And at the end of the day, all this does is it provides more games for gamers, it provides more value for gamers, and for everybody out there, no matter where you play, it's a great thing because you have to believe that Sony is seeing the moves that Xbox is making, and they're sitting in a room right now and they're devising a plan to kind of push back against Xbox in order to counter all of the great news that Xbox has been giving gamers recently. Now, I don't know what that means. I personally think that Sony is going to come out with some sort of subscription service or continue to add to like the PS Plus stuff, maybe transfer PS Now, maybe rebrand it into something that is more along the lines of Xbox Game Pass. I think they're going to have to do that going forward once they see kind of the numbers and the amount of money that Xbox is going to be making off of the subscription service and how that's going to outweigh pushing full price exclusives as the main way to get people into buying a console that you're already selling at a loss, and rather opening up that ecosystem by putting games on PC and giving players the choice of where they want to play. So it'll be super interesting to see what Sony does to counter Xbox Game Pass and to counter all of the great moves Xbox is making throughout this generation. But it would be pretty naive to think that we're only going to continuously get good news on top of good news on top of good news from Xbox and then hear nothing from PlayStation. So competition is great, and the gamers will always win when there's great competition. So besides this news here, they also announced this morning the next gen VR PlayStation 5 controllers, and they are a big upgrade from those PlayStation Move controllers. Just by looking at them, you can see they're a brand new design. So here is what these controllers are going to have that really improves on the actual design of the controllers compared to the Move controllers. So firstly, they're orb shaped and they allow you to hold the controller naturally while playing with a high degree of freedom. And obviously you're going to be able to do a lot more with these compared to what the Move controllers. Just by looking at them, you're going to be able to move your hand in all these different directions. It just looks like it's going to be more comfortable. Now here are the features of the controllers. First of all, they're going to have those adaptive triggers that we've seen on the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. So the adaptive triggers giving you tension when you're doing things within the game. In terms of the actual PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, the adaptive triggers are pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the adaptive triggers. I honestly could go without them. I like more the impulse triggers on the Xbox controllers. I just find the adaptive triggers at times can be a little bit annoying, but that's just me. People may think I'm crazy for thinking that, but that's kind of how I feel about it. The haptic feedback, that's great to see because I find the haptic feedback within the PlayStation 5 DualSense is incredible. It does provide a whole other level of immersion when you're playing a game and you're able to kind of feel the different things happening within the game with different types of rumbles going on within the controller. And that's something I would like to see brought over to other platforms and other controllers going forward. There's going to have finger touch detection, so the controller detects your fingers without any pressing in the areas where you place your thumb, index, or middle fingers. And this enables you to make more natural gestures with your hands during gameplay. That's super cool because I guess it's going to be able to detect your finger movement, and you're going to have more freedom of how your hands interact when you're playing a game. Tracking obviously is going to be tracked, so the VR controller is tracked by the new VR headset through a tracking ring across the bottom of the controller, and then the action buttons and the analog sticks. They ended off here saying that Sony Interactive Entertainment's product engineering and design teams have collaborated to build our new VR controller from the ground up with the goal of making a huge leap from the current gen VR gaming. Now, I'm not the biggest VR person in the world, but I did buy the PlayStation VR on the PS4, and when I first tried it out, I was pretty blown away with just kind of how immersive VR is when a character comes right up to your face, when you look down and you can see like if you fall you're gonna die and you feel like you're right there. It's pretty crazy, and if you've never tried VR, your first experience I think is always insane, but as time went on it got less and less exciting, and I just didn't use it as much. And a lot of that has to do with the PSVR headset in general. It was cumbersome. The actual resolution wasn't as clear as other VR headsets, so it lost its kind of excitement as it went on, and I really just didn't use it that much. However, I did just give it to my dad, who uses it all the time because he uses it to work out playing like Creed and stuff. So it's still getting a lot of use, and there's still lots of functionality for VR. So when we talk about virtual reality and Xbox not having VR, I'm not that sad, but when I see stuff like this come out, these controllers look very cool, and I would be lying if I said that when they release the PSVR 2 that I'm not going to think about at the very least purchasing it and trying it out, because I'm pretty enticed right now with these controllers with all the features that they have into it. I hope that the actual headset is less cumbersome than the first headset. And with that being said, now that I see this tech coming out and it is getting excited, it would be interesting to see if Xbox will ever jump into VR. If they don't, I don't think it's a very big deal. I don't think that they're missing out on a massive market by not jumping into VR. And if they were to jump into VR, I think the best move would to be just to license third-party headsets to be able to be used because of that ecosystem. So people on PC with a high power PC would be able to use any VR headset that's compatible with PC, and then they could open up the Xbox Series consoles to be compatible with third-party VR headsets. If they were going to ever jump into VR, I think that would probably be the best move for them, rather than creating their own specifically first-party branded Xbox VR headset. But I don't see them jumping into VR. They've said countless times that they are not interested, and if you're going to want to play VR, you're going to have to get it for PC, or you're going to have to get the PlayStation VR if you have a PlayStation 5. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. I just wanted to talk about this because it's some interesting stuff coming out, and like I said in the video, competition is going to be great for gamers. So no matter where you play, the more that Xbox does this generation, the more great stuff they give us, the more that PlayStation is going to push back and give us great stuff. So it should be a really awesome generation for gaming, for gamers. We're going to get tons of great content, tons of great features, and just tons of great peripherals like this is looking here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you are new here and you like what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow, help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.